The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup. Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation. The purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a strike capability against the Western Hemisphere. We no longer live in a world where only the actual firing of weapons represents a sufficient challenge to a nation's security to constitute maximum peril.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Blackheart, the head honcho boss on Big L here for OTTR. If y'all don't know that, y'all should know, man. Thank you all for tuning in, for supporting, for listening, for subscribing, for sharing, all of that and the whole back, all that, the whole fucking 9 yards. Needless to say, if you try to look for us, YouTube, Google, Anchor, many other podcast platforms that's out there right now. I'll list them all at the very end. But the Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram is where you can find majority of us online on the social media platforms, decoslides.com and bonfire.com/store/AfterDark Roast Podcast, where you can find the merchandise. So this episode right here is an After Dark, where I'm bringing someone on my show to have a special in-depth sit down. Needless to say, this woman right here, my special guest. Oh my God. If you guys have not seen Impact Wrestling's Knockouts, Knockdown pay-per-view, please go tune into that. Please go tune into Battle Club. Please go into every single promotion that she is stepping foot and terrorizing these people. But I gotta have my hat on today to support her nonetheless. Thank you. But needless to say, this is the Russian bombshell, the motherfucking specialist herself. Masha Slamovich is in the house, y'all. Give it up for her. Thank you, Masha, for coming on the show, man. We greatly appreciate you being here. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Better now because you are here. So I'm just super excited. When that hat came in the mail for me, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta rock my shit out for her today. So kind of will make it seem, become a little, fashionable. So people were asking about this hat. I was like, yeah. Fine, looking into her stuff, the Twitters, the Instagrams, and everything else. So I've been trying to, put your word out for you. So, just Jesus, Masha. So let's just start this off from the humble beginnings of childhood. What made you into the wrestling fan? Who was the guys and girls that you gravitated towards growing up as wrestling fan?
Well, I started watching wrestling at a really young age. And, I'm sure as you can tell by my wrestling style, some of my favorites are the Dynamite Kid, Chris Benoit, Fit Finlay, those type of hard-hitting wrestlers. That is where I fell in love with wrestling by watching those people.
Wow, because when you said Dynamite Kid and Chris Benoit, I would have kind of think of you more as like a Kurt Angle type of, it's a type of like moveset that that you use, but it's very you because of your character, but your moveset as well is just so fucking crazy. Moving forward, I don't want to just jump in too much. I remember going to Jobber Slam out there in Brooklyn this past July, and I seen you and Steve Pinner having your match. And this is my first time me noticing you. So I'm gonna say, who is this girl right here that's giving this man a run for his money? But the moveset is what won me over with you. And I was just like, yo, some company is gonna need to pay attention to her because she's gonna be something that they need for any women's division in professional wrestling itself. I feel like you would be the catalyst that would springboard to a whole nother level. How do you feel about today's generations of women professional wrestling as of right now?
I think that independent or even any wrestling at any company, I think if this is the new golden age of wrestling. I think there's a wide selection of great women to choose from in the wrestling world.
I mean, I would pick you to be, spearheading this thing because you are just so different. But is there anyone else that you would put in your class?
Well, I don't think it's up to me to be putting anybody in anybody's classes.
Oh, well, then that's nice to know. At least it's not like I'm better than this person over here. I think it's everyone as a collective brings something different to the table, and that's what makes it so special. But let's talk about Impact real quick, though. You was just at the Knockdown pay-per-view, face-off against Deonna Purrazzo, and I had said this in Instagram and Twitter that this was technically my favorite match of that card because these two put on a wrestling motherfucking clinic in that ring, and I'm just super ridiculously proud of you. That's just first and foremost, just for me watching you from in the stands to you being on a all-women's pay-per-view for a major company like that. That says a lot about your drive, about your ambition. So I gotta give you your flowers while you're here, and I'm just super humble, super proud of you when it comes to that. How was the match? How did you feel after that match was over between you and Deonna Purrazzo?
Well, first of all, thank you for your thank you. And there's something that me and Deonna have in common, and that is we expect excellence from our work. And I think that putting us together clearly created a fantastic matchup. After the match, I had nothing but joy about the match, which is quite rare because I'm very critical of my own performance. Mm-hmm. I do think that myself and Deonna probably had match of the year in my personal list of matches that I had this year.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, that match to me was definitely match of the year contender, but I don't know who else is great, but that would be my personal, because knowing you, but seeing how her evolution was when she came back to Impact and she slowly grows up to now being a new comfortable face that I actually learned to appreciate because of her hard work and her ingenuity to this. But watching that match, I was blown the fuck away. So I was automatically saying, if these guys don't take her up, whoever the fuck it is, but later on, come to find out, after the cameras were off, you actually gets offered an Impact Wrestling contract from Gail Kim, and I'm super happy for you. I'm super proud. I'm proud of you for that too, because this actually proves the point where if you put in the hard work, the ingenuity, the time, and effort into what you love the most, you will get rewarded for it later. And this is one of those paths right here. And I'm just ridiculously proud of you, Masha. It's just from the bottom of my heart, I'm just super happy for you. I was clapping for you when I found out afterwards. So I was like, oh my God, just to see her in Jobber Slam doing this, kicking the living shit out of Steve Penna, and then now you're here, that's just phenomenal to see.
Thank you.
So, oh man, speaking of Steve Penna, Jesus, I was there at the Do the Fight Thing event out there in New York a couple weeks ago. So, I saw a few of the clips. I saw the finish, and I was just like, oh, that's the only way that they get to lose. But what's the chemistry between you and Steve Penn like in Battle Club Pro?
Well, me and Steve are both originally trained by Johnny Rods in Brooklyn. So me and Steve will go way back. We've known each other for almost a decade. You know, who better to fight than your friends, right? So there's that. Me and Steve always give each other a hard time and kick the shit out of each other. But then we also have to go turn around and teach a young group of students who we both love to see them succeed and grow and learn.
And you are a coach as well for the Fallout Shelter, right?
I am indeed.
Okay, so how long have you been there for?
Well, the school opened in give or take May or June, so I've been there since then.
Oh wow, so it's really been under a year since it's been open.
Oh, it's been under 6 months that it's been open.
Oh Jesus, so it's still a baby. Yeah.
I was previously coaching at a different location, and then I joined up with Battle Club and the Fallout Shelter, and that's where we've been home base ever since.
Okay. Cause seeing you as a coach, and then you got your students cheering for you, rooting you on. I was like, that's fantastic. That's just fantastic to see. And you see, like, I dub my crew over here, the OTTR crew, like my kids. So I'm always, trying to make the right decision for not just for everyone, but you being as a coach to these young cats that wants to grow and that has the passion, that has to fight for it. That says a lot. And you are really a role model to these guys and gals.
I try to do my best. I always say, do as I say and not as I do.
Okay, cool. But definitely the Frankenstein. I kind of wish that you would highlight the hairdo that the hairdo that you just have for the pay-per-view up, because I was like, someone said like she's more like a mixed breed of like Frankenstein and one other person, but I was like, just watch her in-ring work, and you can see why this look and this gimmick, but with her just in general, just as a pure in-ring performer, it all meshes in, and this is which is great for us to see. It's great to see new faces being popped up. And I told a lot of people, start paying attention to the independent scenes, because a lot of these young hungry stars that we haven't seen is going to want to get on television. So people like you, people like Jay Bougie, people like Shane Taylor Promotions that's already in Ring of Honor right now. They're putting in the massive fucking work. And then I might forget about the TV guys that's over here doing that. I'm worried about these guys, because these guys is what's going to be the next 5 to 10 years later, and that's going to be on the television screens. So I can definitely see you being part of that. Is there any other companies that you would like to work for?
Like I said earlier, we're in a absolute boom of professional wrestling. So you never know where I'm going to end up. The possibilities are absolutely endless. The world is opening back up again. So, the chances are just everywhere.
So what would be your next set of moves? After today, what's going to be your next set of moves for Masha Slamovich? What you got going for you for the next couple of months?
Hey man, you never disclose your next steps, in a war. So that's what I'm saying. But all I know is that I got a whole bunch of awesome matches coming up. In 2 weeks, I'll be at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, returning again after WrestleMania weekend. We had Bloodsport 6. Now we're doing Bloodsport 7 in Los Angeles. And then at the end of the month, there's going to be the cross promoting between H2O and FMWE in Japan. The show is Destiny, and I will be on that show as well. So those are the 2 things that I'm really excited about that I've got coming up.
But this one match that you got coming up that I said I gotta see this fight is between you and Lady Frost. That's another one too that I really want to see you guys do. So
I believe that's already booked for next month. I want to say it's in the beginning of November for CCW in Delaware.
So you're pretty much just going to be the deathmatch queen. I don't know if it's safe for me to actually say that, but I automatically put a crown. For me personally, I automatically put a crown on top of your head already. I'm like, she's the queen right now. I don't give a shit about no one the fuck else is wearing besides hers. She is gonna be moving. You're never gonna see her stay at one place for too long because she's going to be excelling faster than what the fuck that we actually watching her. So I'm just super grateful for me to even got the opportunity to watch you wrestle for the very first time in Brooklyn back in July, and seeing you progressing now, it just made me more of a fan of yours now, and just now I got something to remember you by. Needless to say, is there anything that you want to tell these young kids out here that want to become professional wrestlers?
Well, professional wrestling is something that gives a lot back to you, but it also takes a lot from you. So if you want to be a professional wrestler, you better really love this, and you better be ready to commit and devote and sacrifice. Everything that you give, you're going to get it back tenfold, even though sometimes it feels like it's a thankless business. Just keep on fighting, because the thanks will come. The better you get, the more you progress.
Hey, man, you heard from her, folks, and you heard from her first and foremost, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take up too much of your time or her time. Masha, I would like to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time out just to be here, just to bless this channel, to bless this video. For those of you that like what the hell that y'all seeing, hit that like, share, subscribe button, leave that comment below. For anything at all about us, about just anything at all. I mean, just it's an open forum here. We always like to talk professional wrestling with everyone, but at the same goddamn time, you gotta know your limitations. But Masha, I personally humbly thank you. This is where I gotta give you the winner circle, the victory lap, where you get to promote the socials, the merchandise, anywhere, everywhere that you try to push out. This is the time for you to do it. Go for it.
Well, I've got all of my t-shirts up on prowrestlingtees.com. Look at my name, Masha Slamovich. All of my 8x10s, cards, wristbands, those hats that you've got on, they're sold out, unfortunately, but I'll have different ones soon. You guys can DM me on Twitter or Instagram at Masha Slamovich for all non-t-shirt related merchandise, and for all of the exclusive content. Follow me or subscribe to my Patreon at Masha Slamovich.
The Queen of Russia is leaving my building. I'd like to thank you for this personal sit down with you, Masha. Everyone else, y'all probably will see me later on during the week for the Last Weekend Wrestling taping or any other after darks that we got lined up for you this week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we bid y'all adieu.
So you're back on